If your draw shots feel inconsistent, weak, or straight up embarrassing, it is not because you can't draw. It is because 5 small fundamentals are quietly killing your shot. My name is Adam, and in today's video I'm going to show you what actually makes the cue come back. No myths, no overheating, no fancy tricks, just clean mechanics, real control, and a draw shot that finally does what you tell it to do. You just can't miss it. Let's draw it. Alright, quick question. Have you ever tried to draw the cue back and instead it just kind of dies or pops up and embarrasses you in front of your friends? Yeah, been there. When we say keep your cue level, we are talking about the cue being as parallel to the table as possible during the stroke. Not jacked up like you are trying to dig a hole in the cloth. Just flat, smooth, and controlled. And this actually matters way more than most players realize. When your cue is angled downward, 3 bad things can happen. You are no longer delivering clean backspin because you are pushing the cue ball into the table. You lose energy. Instead of spin staying on the cue ball, it gets absorbed by the cloth. You increase the chance of miscues, scooping, or popping the cue ball into the air, which is basically a crime in pool. Here are a few simple adjustments you can make right now. First of all, lower your stance. If your head drops, your cue naturally levels out. Secondly, lower your bridge hand. Of course, if you have a bridge hand. Even half an inch makes a massive difference. In the next step, trust your stroke. You don't need to muscle the ball. Let the cue do the work. And finally, finish the stroke. A smooth follow-through keeps the cue on the correct line and prevents last-second jabbing. That's it. Okay, now let's get something straight right away. A draw shot is not about power. It's about efficient energy transfer. To draw the cue ball, you are asking it to do 2 things at once. Move forward into the object ball and keep enough backspin to reverse direction afterward. That's where stroke mechanics make or break the shot. Here are 3 critical things you need to improve right now. First of all, the slow backstroke. When you pull the cue back slowly, you are doing 2 important things. You stay relaxed and you give your brain time to stay online. Think of it like loading a spring. If you yank it back fast, everything tightens up. A rushed backstroke usually leads to gripping too tight, jerking the cue forward, or stabbing the ball. All of that kills your draw shots. Slow back, stay loose, stay straight. Next is the transition. The moment where your backstroke stops and your forward stroke begins. And yeah, this is where the most draw shots die. If there is a pause that is too tense or a sudden change of direction, you lose acceleration. Your cue should flow from backstroke to forward stroke, not stop and restart, but turn around smoothly. This smooth change of direction is what lets you accelerate through the ball instead of at it. And finally, the deep follow-through. Follow-through isn't something you force. It's something that happens naturally when everything before it is right. If you are accelerating smoothly, your cue has to keep going forward. A short follow-through usually means deceleration, fear of miscuing, or trying to hit the ball instead of stroke it. On good draw shots, your tip should finish low, forward, and well past where the cue ball used to be. That's proof the stroke didn't quit early. So the next time you are struggling with draw, don't hit harder, slow it down, smooth it out, and let the stroke do the work. When you hit the cue ball below center, you are putting backspin on it. And that backspin is what makes the cue ball come back toward you after it hits the object ball. No backspin, no draw. Simple as that. So naturally, when players here hit it low, they think,
lower must be better.
But here is the problem. There is a point on the cue ball where physics stops helping you. If you hit too close to the bottom, one of two bad things happens. You miss cue, so your tip slides off the ball, and you hit the ball inefficiently, losing power and spin. And that's actually frustrating because you thought you hit it low enough. Here is the key idea. The best draw doesn't come from hitting the lowest possible point. It comes from hitting the lowest usable point you can control. The sweet spot isn't as low as you may think. That's usually about 1 to 1.5 tip widths below center with a level cue and a smooth accelerating stroke. This is the zone where your cue tip grips the cue ball, you maximize backspin, and you keep full control. Think of it like traction on a tire. Too little grip? You don't move. Too much? You spin out. A lot of players blame their stroke when their draw shots doesn't work. But more often than not, the real issue is aiming too low or trying to force the draw with power. Power doesn't create draw, spin does. So remember this, hit the cue ball as low as you can, but not so low that you lose control. Hitting the cue ball as low as you can is absolutely crucial to hitting those difficult draw shots for breakfast, but also crucial is hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel, because then you will never miss my new videos, and one of them might help you improve your game. Here is what most players do when they want to draw a cue ball. They think, I need more power. So in this case, they grip the cue tighter, they tense their forearm, and they stop at the ball. And what happens next? You kill the very thing draw depends on, a smooth accelerating cue. Draw isn't about force, it's about spin. Let me ask you something. If you squeeze the cue like you are holding onto a rope over a cliff, how smoothly do you think that cue can move? Yeah, exactly. A tight grip shortens your stroke, slows down acceleration, makes the tip decelerate at impact, and the cue ball says,
Nope, I'm not coming back.
When I say loosen your grip, I don't mean drop the cue. Think of it like this. Hold the cue like you are shaking hands with it. Your fingers should wrap lightly around the cue, allow the cue to slide freely, and tighten slightly only when the very end of a stroke, naturally. The cue should feel like it's whipping through the ball, not being forced. Here is the magic. A relaxed grip allows a longer backswing, a smoother transition, and faster cue speed at the tip. And that speed and a low contact point mean clean backspin. And suddenly, the cue ball listens to you. It draws back, it holds the line, it feels effortless. Here is the mindset change you need. You are not hitting the cue ball, you are sending the cue through it. Draw happens after contact, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. So if your draw shots feel inconsistent, don't swing harder. Check your grip, loosen it, and control it. If you have ever tried to draw the cue ball back and thought, okay, I just need to hit it harder, you probably played a beautiful stop shot. Yeah, we have all been there. Most players think draw works like this. More power equals more draw. But that's only partially true, and it is actually the reason so many draw shots fail. Here's the problem. When you swing harder, a few bad things usually happen. Your timing falls apart, you decelerate into the ball, you lose deep contact, or you hit the cue ball too low and miss cue. So instead of a clean draw, you get chaos. Draw isn't about force, it's about delivering the right speed with the right spin. Let's clear something up. Speed is not how your arm feels like it is swinging. Speed is how fast the Q-tip is moving at the exact moment it hits the cue ball. And this means smooth acceleration, a relaxed grip, and a finish that keeps moving through the ball. If your stroke tenses up, your tip speed actually drops, even if it feels violent. Counterintuitive, but true. When you hit the cue ball low, you are putting backspin on it, but that backspin doesn't last forever. As the cue ball slides across the cloth, friction is fighting that spin the entire time. And here's the thing. Too slow, the spin dies before it reaches the object ball. Too fast, you lose accuracy and control. Just right, the cue ball grabs after contact and comes back clean. And that just right zone, that's speed control. If your draw shots have been inconsistent, don't change everything at once, and don't try to make a full table draw shots first. Instead, start small. Place all 15 balls on the head string and try to pocket them directly into two opposite corner pockets. Easy, right? Yes, but remember all the points we talked about earlier, and above all, to hit the ball low, lowest as you can. If you make every shot correctly, then position the object ball as shown in this graphic, and add the cue ball positioning it on the head string and perfectly in line with the object ball and the opposite corner pocket. Your goal is to make the object ball and draw the cue ball and leave it in this area. Attempt this shot several times on both sides of the table, and if you see that drawing the cue ball back is not a problem for you, then progressively increase the distance by placing the object ball one diamond further away. And that's how real progress happens. Another thing you can control is improving the quality of your training, and you can do this by visiting Pool Billiards.co, a platform where you can find ready-made patterns or create your own. The link in the description gives you 20% off premium membership, so don't wait for the perfect moment and start improving your game right now. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, it tells me to make more breakdowns like this, and subscribe if you want your cue ball doing what you tell it to do. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Take care.